Hi, Mary. Hi, Barth.
Well, hi there. How are you?
Hi, it's good to be here.
Hi, Brent. How are you today?
Doing great. Now, I know we're going to talk about Alexander Livingston, but here's my question. How come it's Reynoldsburg and not Livingstonburg?
Well,
That doesn't sound quite as nice, does it? I don't know about that ring.
it must be that James C. Reynolds that came from Zanesville. And the National Road came through in 1830. He came from Zanesville. We hooked up to Zanesville, so he came out here, and he was a postmaster. He was a brigadier general.
We were almost named after a gentleman by the name of John French.
Yeah.
We were almost called Frenchtown. And when James Reynolds came, the community really embraced him and accepted him and determined that the name of this community should be named after James Reynolds, and we are now Reynoldsburg.
Okay. Where did the first settlers come from?
They originally came from Scotland. They were being persecuted, so they came over to this continent and landed in Truro, Nova Scotia. That's why the township is named Truro Township. Congress allotted the refugee tract to the Nova Scotia refugees, and only one of them really came and settled. James Crawford, wasn't he the only one? Everybody else sold their land.
Mary, one of the early settling families was the Livingston family.
They came in, I think it was 1815 they came, and they built a house up on Wagner Road. Alexander was born in 1821.
And now he's forever famous because he's associated with the tomato.
The original tomato was small. The plants had irregular sizes. They were hollow. They're kind of like a green pepper, a watery green pepper.
As a young child, he found tomatoes out in the wild and took them home to his mother, and she very quickly said, "Oh no, don't eat those are poisonous." And then as he grew up into his later life, he cultivated the first edible commercial variety called the Paragon tomato. That was his first tomato.
So how did he go about developing this variety? Did he have formal training as a scientist?
He didn't have any training. It was a lot of experiment.
He had a field of tomatoes, and he thought, well, I'll pick the best tomato off of each plant. So he'd go to each plant and pick one tomato. Then he'd save the seeds, and the next year he grew those. Well, then he got the same thing because the genes were in the stalk of the plant or in the plant itself. So he said, I'll do it another way. So he went and picked the best looking plant, and he grew a field of those, and they came out really good. And he took the best out of that crop, and the next year he planted that. Took him, what, 20 years?
Oh, it was a long
Time to get
painstaking
to
process.
the Paragon, because every year he would take the best plant and plant it again until he got what he wanted.
And that was his kind of eureka moment to concentrate on the plant rather than just the seed, right?
Right.
So he has this successful tomato, and he starts selling them, and he organizes a seed company that bears his name. Is that right?
Correct. This house had a building that got blown down in a storm where they packaged some of this seeds and things like that.
Alexander Livingston Seed Company is still in existence, and his picture is on those packets still to this day.
Well, his company takes off, but actually tomatoes take off everywhere, right? I mean, people are growing them, and there's all sorts of companies selling the seeds, but he visits all these fairs to collect different varieties and that sort of thing, right?
He wanted to develop a gold tomato, a yellow tomato, a purple tomato. He would go to the state fairs where they displayed their best tomatoes and talk to the growers.
Let's take a minute and just describe some of the items you brought here.
The seed box that would have had the different varieties of seeds, and someone would go to the, pick out their, whatever they were going to plant that year. You can see it goes back to 1876.
I love some of the names that he came up with.
Acme, the Acme, the Golden Queen, I believe.
Yeah, he said it was fit for a king.
Yeah.
You're right, uh-huh.
Well, the catalog, that one there's dated 1888. There's a lot of original artwork in there, pen and ink, color. It had to be quite a job to make those catalogs. And this is a book of Livingston and the Tomato. I believe he wrote that. These are seed bags. There's a picture of one of the seed packets and a recipe. He wrote a lot of recipes.
And the tomato is still really important to Reynoldsburg.
That's correct. We actually have a festival every year. It's in the second week of August. We have people who grow their own tomatoes in this community, and we have everything from the smallest tomato all the way up to the largest tomato, and fun varieties and people that kind of create their own little creations to make something fun and interesting.
Well, it's a fascinating life, and thanks for sharing us the details of Mr. Livingston in Reynoldsburg.
He was an amazing man, and one other thing I always love to share about Alexander Livingston and one of Reynoldsburg's histories is Alexander Livingston was a big proponent of the Underground Railroad. he served a lot of people trying to get them safely through communities, and he would use his wagon called the Ark to transport slaves to get out of Reynoldsburg to the next safe spot in the Underground Railroad. So Reynoldsburg's got a fascinating history, and Alexander Livingston takes a big role in it.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you for coming.